botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
So obviously at the end of the movie, Peter does the ultimate sacrifice, right? Or one of the big sacrifices. He doesn't kill himself, but he removes people's memory of Peter Parker, right? So for all intents
kind of death.
and that is in itself isn't the worst thing, because Spider-Man is still known in the world. People know there's a Spider-Man. People know that Spider-Man helped
beat Thanos.
That's all there.
Endgame,
Peter Parker, though, is now starting kind of from zero. Like, he is, for all intents and purposes, like a person that's off the grid. Right? We see him at the very end entering an apartment, even though he's happy, which is great. Smiling helps.
He's in an apartment. He's
getting his
dropped
GED
out of high school because he's taking the GED. He's studying for that, and it's implied, I guess, he's like Spider-Man full time now.
Yeah,
Kind of
he's
like
got
what
a new
Andrew
suit.
Garfield is.
Yeah.
Full-time
So,
Spider-Man.
to a way, like, this kind of, I would say, reboots Spider-Man to a degree, where
a little
now
bit,
it can go completely in a new direction.
If they want, yeah.
If they want.
They could do like this is convenient in a lot of ways, because I think they did it this way because they didn't know would the Sony Disney relationship still continue on, right? And if it didn't continue, okay, well, Spider-Man's still around, but we don't know who he is, and so he doesn't need to be used in like MCU movies because he's doing his own small local, unattached
Friendly
thing.
neighborhood Spider-Man.
He's basically this could be the final goodbye to all of the characters he's ever met, right? He doesn't need to interact with them ever again.
Yeah.
And that also helps Sony too, where like, okay, do we want to do more moves with Tom Holland? Obviously, yes, but can we get Zendaya back? Can we get the actor who plays Ned back? Can we get, Jon Favreau back or whoever, right? It's convenient where they can literally go in any direction, and they're not bound to like, oh well, we couldn't get Zendaya back, so it's going to be a bad movie. It could just be explained as, I didn't want to put MJ in harm, so now I'm staying away from her, type of
Which,
thing.
so he runs, obviously.
And they're going to Boston anyway, so it's
Right.
like they wouldn't necessarily be around his day-to-day life anymore. Jacob Batalon,
who plays Ned. And what do you think, based on what we saw, where he goes into the coffee shop and he sees Ned, he sees MJ, he tries to like tell her, he doesn't. What do you think do you think he is going to stay away, or do you think he's going to work on it?
Like Arjuna said, I think it really depends on. Let's see how this MCU.
Okay, better question.
Sony,
What does Krishna want?
What do I want?
Yeah, what do you want?
Man, so part of me loves the idea. This the dark part of me loves the idea of Spider-Man separating from Marvel and going back to Sony, and then because it did wrap up such a beautiful way when Doctor Strange looks at him and is like, goodbye. That was a goodbye. There are tears in his eyes. It's like, everyone who loves you will not know who you are. Like, we will not know who you are.
It almost makes me feel like they're going to do Miles Morales in the MCU. That they'll do the traditional one too, where Peter Parker dies, right? And because nobody knows who Peter Parker is, Miles could just become Spider-Man. And that no one would know that it's necessarily changed. They'll obviously have a new suit and whatnot.
But there is a Spider-Man running around, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, our producer here doing some research. So it looks like Tom Holland does have one more movie crossover appearance confirmed.
Do you think?
So
Do you think it's Spider-Man into the
Spider-Verse?
or across the Spider-Verse?
Oh, that'd be wild.
But I think
Because the one thing with Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse that they did say is they said that there will be different animation styles and more.
Right.
and more.
Which could be live action.
Yeah.
Could
Right?
be claymation.
Could be claymation.
Wallace and Gromit.
Da 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 da.
No. Don't.